Hello, true believers. It's Beb Tony. Time to do finally some investing or looking at investing. And everybody knows I've been kind of tracking the markets again. I've been forced to go back into gambling. And so this is what I have to do. I'm not the most good at, I don't have a lot of experience in charts, but based on my, when I took algebra in geometry and trigonometry and calculus in high school. Actually, I take that back. I only took, I think trigonometry in high school, and in college is when I finally took calculus. I mean, it was the reason why I struggled so much with calculus in college because the pace was so breakneck that I couldn't keep up. So I didn't do as well as if while in high school, the pace is much slower. But anyway, back to this chart. So I'm going to call this video Bitcoin predictions. And I can look at a chart and I can analyze it. They don't make these things complicated. So here is a 6-month chart, and as you can see, this is a wonderful time for Bitcoin. And why did I choose Bitcoin? Because it's the biggest thing right now. And I in the beginning when I was looking at Bitcoin, I'm going, what the hell is this? It's a Ponzi scheme. But then again, everything is a Ponzi scheme. For example, the biggest Ponzi scheme is the government. The biggest Ponzi scheme is Social Security. So you can, yes, Ponzi schemes are, it's all about getting you and investors to pay off the old investors. But the way, the trend now, the reality that it's just currency or what people call fiat currency is, for example, the dollar. It just doesn't make sense. It's just losing value day after day, and it's driving more people to investing in the stocks, including cryptocurrency. So that's why I took a look at it. Another thing was Pico convinced me when he sent me Bitcoins to buy our car. That made a believer out of me. But my biggest problem with Bitcoin was it was intimidating for me because the price was so high. You think the price was so high when it was like at $2,000 or $3,000. What the hell do you think it is when it's like at $52,000, $62,000, and then it's so those are, and it's hard to. One of the things that people are intimidated by, because I don't understand the technology. I mean, I understand the basics that you can't make more. It's fixed. But I don't understand. It's just numbers. It's just zeros and ones. How do you? I don't get what's stopping somebody who's really good with a computer can just kind of say, okay, I'm going to give myself 100, 1,000, since it's all just numbers. It's all just zeros and ones. So, I mean, when I first looked at it, I go, what is this? It's the bigger fool theory. It's like the only value it has is because what people have paid for it. So it has no value. It doesn't do anything. So it's just the value it is what people paid for it. So that's why I stayed away from it for a long time, because it's a risk versus reward situation. I was in a point in my life where I'd rather be conservative, but now I'm not. So I have to be forced into trading again, which is going to cause me to get older much faster than I would like to. But I mean, everything has a cost. Everything has a price. There's no such thing as a privilege. But anyway, I've set it up long enough. Let's go to the actual chart. How do I read it? I just kind of simplify it. Okay, the highest over here. Let's take a look. The highest over here, what goes up must come down. So the highest, if we look at over here, if I could read this, the highest over here is like $63,000 per Bitcoin. Okay, and then it went down and it got a support over here from 63 to 49,000, and then it started going up again. So this is what I like about this is it's volatile. So there's opportunity for it to be, you can buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, take small positions, sell, you can make money. Especially when it's going up over here or going up over here. But what you got to recognize is where the bottoms are. Okay, there was a bottom over here, went up. There's a bottom over here. There's one up. There's one. So there. So you got to look at. Okay, then over here you got to look at the history. Over here we got the trend is our friend, and it started going down again. So this is a very painful time. But this is only this is only a 6-month chart. So you're only talking like a few months over here where you were in pain from 414 to where it finally hit a bottom. So you're only talking about a 3-month basis. If this was 3 years where you're in pain, then it's no problem. But in 3 months, from this to this, it found another bottom. And same thing over here. We got a top. We got a top over here at 51 again, and then it started coming down. Now we don't know if it's gonna be like this or like this, but from what I'm looking at, if you're a chart person, what's going on over here is this. If this is the bottom right here, then this is creating another spot like this. So what are my predictions? Okay, so here's one bottom, but will we ever get to that? We don't know. And here at 29,000. So that's a support. So if it bottoms out over here, back up the truck. But I'm looking at more of, okay, what have been recent actions over here. So the other bottom over here where it hit bottom and it started going up, going up is this point right here. So this is another bottom that I'm looking at, 38,000. So if you're new to crypto, or if you're old to crypto and you want to know like what my predictions are, where I would get into, I'm not saying I'm getting into it one way or another, but if I was betting again, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, is I would be looking at this 38,000 level. If it goes down to 38,000 level, that's my bottom one. Okay. And then the other bottom two is this level over here, which is 29,000. So you got 38,000, 29,000. So if I was a financial advisor, I would be looking for these two bottoms right here. Now this is betting. That's why there's a high risk versus high reward. There's nothing stopping it from all of a sudden there's like some big long-term EMP, electromagnetic pulse, or like all electronics is just like wiped out and all this comes down to zero. So there's a high risk, not likely. If that happens, you get bigger problems than Bitcoin, that all of a sudden all electronic devices doesn't happen. But I'm just saying as an example of what could wipe it out. If it gets wiped out, it could wipe everything out. Why am I I would say I am bearish in the short term, because it looks like what's happening over here is happening over here also. So it looks like what goes up must come down, but it came down at this, the lowest is it came at this level. It's as you can see, the trend of it is it's going up, up and up. And why? So long-term bullish, short-term bearish, minus any catastrophic events. As you can see, a lot of the bad news is already baked in. We're already saying inflation, inflation, inflation. Fed tapering, and what's going to happen is the Fed is just going to, it's just, you have to pick your poison. Which one do you want, depression or inflation? So the people in charge are saying inflation. Let's just get into debt and more debt, and the debt is the solution to the debt. So if that keeps going on, then it's going to force people to go in, more and more people into cryptocurrency. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. You let me know if you agree, you disagree. But you can't just sit there and let your money sit in the bank and just become more useless every day. You have to start doing something like this. And cryptocurrency is still in its infancy stage. The big institutions haven't gotten involved in there, like pension funds or Berkshire Hathaway. So there's a lot of room for it to grow. The bigger fool Ponzi, there's still more investors to go. So for now, this is all pretty much retail investors and some whale investors, but not big time institution investors. So my predictions is that you're safe that it may go down because past history doesn't have You can't just because it happened over here doesn't mean it's going to happen over here. You don't know, but you have to, based on what we know, yeah, that's what you make decisions. There's a support over here at 38, and there's a support over here at 29, and it just started going up again. So for now, in the short term, it's going down. You gotta there's gonna be what do you call that, short-term liquidity issues, but I don't believe so, because the US federal government is going to keep printing money. If you believe, that's a question for you, if you believe that the federal government is going to increase the debt ceiling, is going to increase, is going to keep printing more money to support all these uh, zombie zombie organizations, zombie businesses, then yeah, it's going to force more and more people into Bitcoin. And but right now, because of the chart, it's people are just going to be waiting and waiting. If you want to get in, then come in here. Now, yeah, I would hedge it. If you really want this to happen, like me, if I really want this thing to crash, I'll buy it, because I want it to crash, but I don't want to lose money. So I'm going to wait until the signal happens that, okay, we've got a bottom over here at 38. And so I'm going to keep some powder dry, and if it goes down to 29 based on this right here. So if it goes down to 38 or 29, that means it's after that it's gonna turn the corner and go from a bearish trend to a bullish trend, because all the people that are going to sell, or it's like a coronavirus, all the people that are going to die are going to be dead already, and all you have is the people that are bullish about it, and it's going to go up. How high or how far it's going to go up? I think it's going to go higher than 63, but you never know. But you could also say that this is the bottom also. This is the bottom also before it. So if this stays here for a long time, like it just stays here, then this all this consolidation right over here, then it's forming a new bottom. But since this is just new, then these are the two bottoms I would be looking at. So that's one bottom right here. Then it shot up right away. Then it started to come back up again, and it started coming down again. So it started coming down. So if it does come down again, it will only go as low as this, and it will only, what goes up must come down, because there was so much consolidation over here. There was so much so much people taking positions over here, that my prediction is that this is the second bottom, the extreme bottom, but we're not going to reach that. I don't think this is probably, but is the lowest it's gonna go. So it's a 38. If I were trading again, this would be my entry point or re-entry point, depending on how long you've been doing this. But I definitely see this is the more solid bottom over here. Like I said, what goes up must come down. As you can see, it's same exact thing over here. It's like, why do you say that's the bottom? Well, because it's the same bottom over here and another bottom over here. So for this to just take off, you just have to get down here. Be patient. If it took 3 months from the high to get here, don't worry. It just, you're talking about just a matter of months. So after it hits the bottom over here or the bottom over here, then it's gonna be trending up to the bullish after, but it's gotta find a bottom first before it could start its run up again, like it did over here and like it did over here. So these are the two same bottoms over here. So if it does go down there, then get ready to re-enter at here, at one at 38 and one at 29 before it becomes bullish again. So anyway, that's my prediction. That's how I interpret this chart. Like I said, I haven't been interpreting charts that long, but I can look at a chart and say, where would be a safe bottom? And I was like, oh, okay, well, here's one over here. Here's another one over here before it goes up. What about over here? Yeah, well, there's one over here. Then it started going up again. So based on what we know, we can try to predict what will happen in the near future. But in the long term, because of inflation, because the countries just like America are going to keep printing money, it's going to keep forcing people to go and seek alternatives. And the stock market and cryptocurrency is probably one of the better options that people are looking into. So let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree? Do you have your own predictions? Let me know in the comments. I normally don't want to do this, but I'm taking a different strategy as I did before when I was younger in my 20s when I was doing this. Now that with new technology, and that's another reason why why people like me were so intimidated by Bitcoin. Well, I'm intimidated by technology. I'm intimidated by the price. I'm intimidated by the volatility. There's so many reasons, but eventually you're gonna have to have an event where people are just gonna say, I have no choice. I have to. If everybody's doing it, I have to do it also. So those are my predictions and those are my entry points. Let me know if you disagree or disagree. I'll see you guys in the next vlog. This is It's Only. Thanks for watching.